Thanks for joining us for the 4 o'clock show. 3 o'clock was The Taste with Rick Simone. Cinco de Mayo kicked off news and politics with actor Al Sapienza. You remember him as the mayor in Brotherhood, talking about living in a Fane tower as Jason Bain's 46-story tower proposal is moving here in Providence. I'm very excited to welcome my next guest here into the studio, Aimee Davidson with YWCA of Rhode Island. Thank you for coming in today.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate it. You've got an event taking place this week as part of a larger movement that YWCAs all across the country are taking part in, and this is Standing Against Racism.
That's correct.
So talk with us a little bit about the movement, and we'll talk a little bit. There's a screening of the movie Get Out tomorrow, which Aimee says she's seen a number of times, and more importantly, a discussion afterwards. So let's talk about Standing Against Racism and YWCA's role in the process.
Absolutely. So Standing Against Racism is an annual event hosted by the YWCA USA, and it's hosted by YWCAs across the country, including our local YWCA here in Rhode Island. The mission of the YWCA is to eliminate racism, empower women, and promote peace, justice, dignity, and freedom for all. So each year for the last weekend in April, we celebrate the Stand Against Racism event by holding different events around the country to acknowledge it.
And you may have seen the trailers, you may have seen the movie as well, but Get Out. So talk with us about choosing this movie. You've seen the movie, and how you think and how you know it's going to spark conversation.
Well, Get Out is a fantastic movie. If you haven't seen it yet, you absolutely should. And it's definitely a movie that is worth it seeing in a large group. I originally saw it in the theaters, and it's one of those very kind of rare theater experiences these days where seeing it in the theater kind of elevates the experience. So seeing it with a group is definitely highly recommended. And then it definitely just inspires a lot of conversation, a lot of deep thinking in people after they see the movie. So I attended actually another organization hosted an event where they screened the film and held a conversation afterwards a few weeks ago. And it was really robust. People had a lot of strong reactions to the themes of racism, colonization, racialized violence in the film. So we're hosting our own. It's going to be tomorrow at the Knight Memorial Library in South Providence in their auditorium from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. And we still have seats available, so if anyone is interested in joining us, they can RSVP by emailing me directly, Aimee at ywcari.org. That's AIMEE at ywcari.org. The movie is about an hour and 45 minutes long, and then we'll follow it up with a really intense conversation about the themes.
Okay, and talk with us a little bit. You said there's still tickets available, and you've been a part, as you said, of a discussion, having watched the movie before. Mm-hmm. Talk with us a little bit about that. I'm sure there was a diverse audience there in attendance, and how is it to use a movie as a jumping off point? Something fictional, but to bring in sort of real life actualities and problems and things that persist.
Absolutely. So Get Out is a really masterfully written film. It was written and directed by Jordan Peele, and he actually won an Academy Award for the screenplay of the movie. The movie is very skillful in addressing the issues of racism, especially in so-called kind of liberal white spaces. So the white family in the film is kind of shown to be very progressive and open-minded and accepting, and yet there's this sort of dark secret kind of hiding under the surface, this kind of insidious plot. And it's just very skillful in kind of communicating how racism is a lot more than just how we treat each other, than our day-to-day interactions, interracially. It's more systemic than that. It has more to do with our behaviors, our choices, and the way that we live our lives.
Well, it sounds like a fantastic movie. And again, taking place from 3 to 6 tomorrow. Is this really, this is the focal point of the Stand Against Racism effort here, especially in Rhode Island?
Yeah, so this is just the event that we're hosting for the community. Internally, we are doing a voter registration campaign within our organization. We're trying to get all of our eligible staff and families to register to vote for the 2018 election, because the national theme for Stand Against Racism this year is civic engagement. So we are encouraging our Providence community to get engaged by coming out and watching this film and having what may be a difficult conversation about the themes in the film, sort of examining their own practices, their own lives, their own policies, and sort of wondering, do I exhibit some of the behaviors in this film? Do I kind of identify with some of the less savory characters in the film in ways that I didn't realize before? And then, of course, our theme of civic engagement has a 3-pronged approach. That's organize, elect, and, sorry, let me check my notes because we're live, serve.
Okay, last but not least, organize, elect, and serve.
Mm-hmm.
And so talk a little bit, too, about the ability to have this conversation of people in person. We see social media so much these days being that sort of padded room of people saying, doing things without having the reaction. How powerful was to have people sort of all around and talking, and not having that computer screen in front of you or writing your thoughts on the movie just down on a keypad. You know, could this be a catalyst for more types of conversations like this?
We certainly hope so. I mean, the idea of getting people to come and share a space and share an experience and then speak frankly about their impressions of the film or, you know, what it invokes in them, it kind of removes us from that, oh, I'm behind the screen, I'm a little bit anonymous, I can kind of say and do what I want, and asks us to be more earnest and sort of self-interrogating in our observations of racism in our community, in our state, and in our country. And these are really important conversations. They are hard to have, they are uncomfortable to have, and we have to be willing to be uncomfortable, to sort of not so much be in a safe space, but be in a brave space where we can confront these issues that continue to impact the quality of people's lives all over the country.
Well, it sounds like it's going to be a fantastic event tomorrow from 3 to 6. Again, just run through the details again, which we'll put up on the link afterwards, but let folks know once again where this is taking place.
Sure thing. So it'll be at the Knight Memorial Library tomorrow from 3 to 6 p.m. and there are still seats available. So if you're interested in joining us for this screening, you can email me at aimee@ywcari.org to reserve a spot or several if you want to bring a friend.
Well, Aimee, I so appreciate your taking the time to come down here on a rainy day to bring awareness to this effort by the YWCA, and again, the screening of Get Out tomorrow at 3 p.m. Aimee, thanks so much.
Thank you for having
I'll
me.
let you go around the corner. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with our next guest here in the Navigant Credit Union Broadcast Center.